Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Stacy Satang with the Housing Alliance of Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us. We are all here to prepare for Capitol Hill Day. To let you know that our presentation is being recorded and will run about 60 minutes, we say, but we'll probably wrap up a little bit sooner than that, including time for question and answers. Please note anything that goes in the chat will be recorded. We are also recording this webinar and we will send out a link to it in addition to any accompanying materials within the next few days, as well as upload it to our YouTube channel. Attendees, you all will be muted during today's presentation. If you have a question for the presenters, please use the Q&A feature in the bottom of your screen to communicate with them. If you have a logistical question or you need to ask me something, please use the chat. Please do not use the chat to communicate with the presenters. Please make sure you're doing that in the Q&A. I will now turn it over to Gail to begin today's presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and for lending your voice to this year's Capitol Hill Day. It is technically our second virtual Capitol Hill Day, but it is the first one that we got to plan from the beginning, knowing that it was a Capitol Hill Day. So I, along with Brian Fuss, Keena Minifield, and Jennifer Thomas, are the team here at the Housing Alliance that are going to be supporting all of you through this year's Capitol Hill Day. So we have a really quick agenda today. Again, you know, why do we do Capitol Hill Day? What's been happening before Capitol Hill Day, what all of you can expect on the day of, and then of course any sort of follow-up, and of course Q&A at the end. So why Capitol Hill Day? Because increasing federal resources will benefit our communities and the people that we serve and the places that we all live. And because advocacy works when it's done right, and I like to think we do it right here at the Housing Alliance. So with that, I am going to pass it over to my colleague, Brian, who's going to talk a little bit about our policy priorities and the messaging framework that we are going to have for this year's Capitol Hill Day.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I am extremely excited about working on the annual Capitol Hill Days this year in conjunction with the National Low Income Housing Coalition. You know, I can say from the beginning at a federal level, the Housing Alliance is really excited because the Biden administration really supports a lot of our policy priorities. So we really think it's time that we start creating some long-lasting laws that will help secure the future of everyone in the Commonwealth. Therefore, a lot of our policy priorities, as you'll see, will be working to expand funding for the many programs that you all working in and that we work on to really help our fellow Pennsylvanians. The American Recovery Act, just passed by Congress and signed by the president, provides numerous grants and funds for programs that help people stay in their homes and avoid homelessness. I will say that the federal budget at this particular point, last time I looked, is not been finalized yet. So this is like a perfect time to get to our representatives and senators and say, hey, this is what we want our priorities to be. And certainly to protect all of our Pennsylvanians, siblings from eviction and homelessness, and to expand the supply of safe, decent, and affordable housing. So our 2021 priorities are increasing grants for the HUD's assistance, homeless assistance grant programs, creating a federal emergency rental assistance program that's not related to COVID, expanding and increasing funding for the low-income housing tax credit and the National Housing Trust Fund. Fully address through funding the repairs needed in our public housing units, about $70 billion. expand the housing choice voucher program, and have permanent increases for community development. Of course, if there are other federal priorities, just let us know, and we can talk about those. And then now we just want to talk a little bit about framing our asks with our representatives. So I just remember, you are not only a constituent of the representative, but you are also an expert. And so you know what works in your community, and so keep the conversation solution focused. The Housing Alliance will provide some tips and information about the representatives you are meeting with, so that you have some knowledge about what the representative cares about and how that actually intersects with our agenda. Also, this year, the Housing Alliance will give the senators and the House members who voted yes on the American Recovery Act, give them a nice thank you card or a note, so that they can frame it, hopefully by us. You know, as you walk into the office next year, you see it. The best way to make an impact with a representative is really to show how they have made a difference in your community, the community that they represent. So stories along with data. I always like to do a human side along with some of the data. You know, if we're spending $70 billion on repairs, how does that really impact the folks that we work with? So although the pandemic's not over yet, we do, as the Alliance, wants to start looking forward to a day when we can all meet face to face and all of that, and that we're actually creating a stronger Commonwealth, especially economically. So that will be a lot of our focus this year in a lot of our framing. So the main message for this year is we have solutions that will address evictions and affordable housing to create a stronger and more stable Commonwealth for everyone. So again, I look forward to working with everyone on April 1st, and I yield my time back to my colleague, Gail.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I think we're at a very exciting time because we really get to think to the future and to recovery, and also taking some of the really amazing and innovative approaches that were developed and allowed for during the pandemic, and see if we can't make them permanent. So next, I am going to introduce Jennifer Thomas, who is going to talk about what the Housing Alliance has been up to leading up to Capitol Hill Day, and what are some of an overview of the resources that we are going to be providing you to support you in your meetings. Jennifer?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being with us today. Like Gail said, I'm going to briefly go over what we've been doing to prepare for our Capitol Hill Day and what the schedule looks like so far. So the Housing Alliance is working to schedule appointments with all 18 representatives and Senator Casey and Senator Toomey. We are preparing packets before all the meetings to include resources that will help you have an effective legislative visit. And since it's virtual, organizing teams will be pretty easy. There will be a Housing Alliance staff member in all of the meetings with you. And we predict that most of the meetings will be with legislators' housing staffers. And then we plan to host planning meetings to go over policy priorities, schedules, and how to have an effective legislative visit, which is what we're doing right now. And then there will be another individualized planning meeting, which Gail will provide more details on shortly. So the contents of the packet, so there are two versions of this packet. There's one for the legislator and one for the advocates. In your advocate packet, you're going to find a legislative guide with talking points, a one-page summary with all of our policy priorities that we just went over, and then fact sheets, one-pagers, and other various reports that illuminate the importance and the impact and the need of our policy asks. And then you'll find a county and state fact sheet. This gives an overview of the affordable housing costs in your county, and it breaks down other variables and demographics. And you can see an example of that on this page. If you're eager to find out what is going on in your county, all of these are available on our website as well. So the packet will also include the economic impact of affordable housing. And this was a report that the Housing Alliance put out a few years ago on LIHTC. And then lastly, you'll find in your packet a schedule of the day so you know what meetings are taking place when. The legislator packets will be attached to the meeting invites, and you will receive your advocate packet in an email that will come to you directly from one of us on this team. And then anything that you feel is important and that illuminates your needs and what programs you're working in, feel free to bring that with you as well. And so far, we are still working on scheduling the legislators, and the meetings you see here can very well be switched around. So this is all tentative, but so far we've confirmed Representative Kelly for 9:30 in the morning, Representative Doyle for 11 a.m., Representative Smucker at 12:30, Representative Keller at 1 p.m., Representative Lamb at 1:30, and Senator Casey at 3 p.m. As it stands, Senator Casey, Representative Houlihan, and Representative Kelly will personally be in attendance. The rest of the confirmed appointments that I just listed will be staffed by someone on their housing team. If we're able to confirm the representative, that they'll be there themselves, someone from our team will email you right away to let you know. And if we know that the representative personally wants to be in attendance, but they aren't available on April 1st within the time frame, we will make exceptions and notify everyone who registered in that district in advance. For instance, Representative Houlihan is very eager to meet with those from District 6, but is only available on Tuesday. So we scheduled that and emailed the folks from District 6 who were registered. And then following today's webinar, we will be sending out calendar invites so that all the registered attendees whose representatives are confirmed will get a meeting invite so they can have that on their calendar. I believe that's all from me, so I'll turn it back to you, Gail.
Great. So just thinking about, what folks can do to prepare, just, make sure that you think about having a few sentences on housing resources and just how you're using programs or running programs in your community and taking that into your legislative visit. Next, we have Tina Minifield, who is going to go over how to have an effective legislative visit.
Thank you, Gail. So, just a couple of things. It's really nice to see you all here. Thank you for joining us. And I don't know about you all, but I am super pumped, excited for Capitol Hill Days. I love advocating. It's my thing. And I feel like we're all so powerful when we're in groups, and I really look forward to every Capitol Hill Day that we have. This will be my first time being on the other side. Usually I am, out advocating, but this time I'm behind the scenes and advocating and planning. So I'm really excited to do this as somebody with lived experience. So anyway, so let's see. How to have an effective legislative visit. So the team leader will open the meeting with the reason why you're visiting or in attendance. And the team leader is a member from the Housing Alliance. So everyone will go around, introduce themselves, who you are, what you do, and state why you're at the meeting. So then the team leader will then tell the staff or the legislator what the group is asking for them to do or support. So we'll be emailing out all the materials and packet information, so they'll have that information of, you know, what we're asking and doing right in front of them. So then we will go and hold a conversation around these issues, which is, you know, the important part. You know, I think it's a great idea to talk about a particular client or a story that really has stuck with you, whether it be old or new, to tell the legislator so they really get an understanding of what's going on and how these programs are working in their communities. So that would be a really, really great time to tell your story during this time. So then the team leader will close the meeting, you know, reinstates what we're asking of the legislator or a staff member, and, you know, thank them for their time and support. And so that will close out the meeting. So also, you know, remember, if, you know, there's any questions or, you know, anything that the staff or legislator asks that you don't know the answer to, that's okay, because you don't have to be an expert at this. You'll have a member of the Housing Alliance with you during these meetings. So just go and tell your story, and you know, continue to be passionate about what you're doing. And thank you all for, you know, joining us for this Capitol Hill Day. I'll turn it back to you, Gail.
Great. So again, going back to Keena's message, like, just prepare your story. It's just a couple of sentences. We always encourage people to bring clients, consumers, persons with lived expertise to join the meeting and share their story. I think, you know, I've been doing this for a few years now, and always the most powerful meetings really do happen when somebody is there to speak to the testament of, you know, every housing opportunity created with affordable housing really has the potential to make a lifetime's worth of difference for people. And so those who can really speak to that story and share that story really help make for the most effective visits. So again, if you have somebody in your programs that you think would be good to attend these meetings, and you would like help working with them, all you have to do is reach out to Housing Alliance staff, and we will be there to work with you and help you. Keena is amazing at helping people craft their story. Again, also please bring materials about your specific program, you know, whether it's an annual report or a recent news article, anything that will really highlight the good work that you're doing in the community that we can leave with the legislator. We would also like to include that in the packets. We are going to have an additional planning call. We're going to try and do everybody's planning call at one time, utilizing breakout groups via Zoom. So that's going to be happening the Monday before Capitol Hill Day at 4 o'clock. And that invite will be sent out after today's webinar with all of the other information. And then, you know, of course, if you only registered for this webinar, but you didn't register for Capitol Hill Day, please be sure to register for Capitol Hill Day. We'll include the link with a follow-up to today's webinar as well. And yeah, so we just are really, really excited. I think we have over 70 people signed up for Capitol Hill Day. And, you know, we're trying to get meetings with all 20 members of our congressional delegation, and we are very excited to be working alongside all of you. So this is the entire team's contact information and direct phone numbers. You can contact any one of us at any point with any questions or concerns, and we will do our best to support you and answer you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if we have any questions. Will there be a second planning meeting for District 6 since we are having a meeting on the 30th? So since the 30th is a Tuesday, we were not planning to have a separate one since the planning meeting will be on Monday. However, we can do some outreach, and if folks are available and maybe want to do it like the Friday beforehand, or a couple of days sooner, we can try and schedule that meeting. So we'll be sure to follow up with the District 6 folks after today's meeting to see how you want to proceed. So with that, I am not seeing any additional questions. So I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to join today's webinar. Say thank you to the amazing team that I get to work alongside. And we are really, really excited to have some really good conversations on Capitol Hill Day. I think it's a very exciting time in the affordable housing sector. We're finding ourselves having conversations about really expanding the resources that we know work in communities across Pennsylvania in ways that we haven't seen in many, many years. So we are so excited for all of you to bring your talent and your stories and your passion to the conversation. Thank you. Enjoy your afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Look forward to
Thanks.
working with you, Al.